winning work on the screen and the stage, or because of how she's inspired generations of us with her fitness revolution. She is an icon for me and for countless others because of how she's committed herself to the causes that matter to us most. Her entire life has been dedicated to growing well-being, hasn't it? For every facet of the work that she's done, it's about growing well-being for all of us and using her stage for good. In addition to her illustrious acting career, she has long been known for activism and advocacy on environmental issues, human rights, the empowerment of women and girls, and fair wages for tipped workers. Can you believe, I was just in New Mexico. In New Mexico, they pay their tipped workers $2.12 an hour. That's got to change. How can you be thinking about environmental issues when you're having to think about how do you keep your lights on? So that's why all of this work is climate justice work. So in addition to her illustrious career, she chairs the statewide effort to reduce the high rates of adolescent pregnancy in Georgia through community, youth, and family development, training of professionals who work with adolescents, and legislative advocacy. There is no one more committed to the health and well-being of this planet we call home. And no one who shows up to fight the good fight like she does, both through her own work with Fire Drill Fridays and the Jane Fonda PAC, but also in being an incredible ally and supporter of other orgs like our own. And this is just her side stuff. I mean, this is not even her full-time job. I mean, so when we think, oh, I don't have time to do it, remember Jane Fonda, we all have time to do this work. So please give a warm Earth Day Festival welcome to Jane Fonda.
Wow, what a group! Look at you all. I feel like I've come home. Oh my God, I used to live up there at the top of the hill, as many of you know. Oh, I'm just so happy to be here now and to see so many of you here. Thank you for being here. I love you too. What we are here for is to support the Big Oil Resistance Tour, which is traveling all around California, because we're trying to move California away from fossil fuels into a new era of clean air and water and plentiful, healthy, safe, well-paying jobs, right? And energy that is community-controlled and democratic. Doesn't that sound like a dream? Well, we can turn it into a reality if we stick together, if we work together. I am so grateful to the Community Environmental Council, which has every year since 1970 hosted Santa Barbara's Earth Day Festival. Yes. And this year it's bringing the Big Oil Resistance Tour here so that we can learn, strategize, and take action together, and we can break free from big oil. For those of you who don't know the Big Oil Resistance Tour, and by the way, we're going to be doing another one next year closer to the election. I mean, this is like all hands on deck. This is a critical time. We're calling for a future beyond fossil fuels and an immediate end to environmental racism in our state. Yes! Environmental justice is what we're fighting for. We're getting organized because the big oil bullies are lying, as they do so well, ripping off Californians, polluting our air and water, abusing our democratic process, and setting us on a on a path to climate destruction so they can continue to rake in the profits. I've sure as hell had enough of big oil's greed destroying our state. Have you? Yeah, I figured you had. And it's so fitting that we're gathered as we discuss the very devastating consequences of climate change in our communities. As it was the oil spill off the Santa Barbara coast in 1969 that catalyzed the creation of Earth Day. But this community knows all too well that the harms of fossil fuels are not just a thing of the past. The country is no stranger. This county, Santa Barbara County, is no stranger to the ravages of oil drilling, both onshore and offshore, as well as climate-driven wildfires, mudslides, and drought. In 2015, the Plains All-American Pipeline ruptured, spilling thousands of gallons of ExxonMobil's oil into the Gaviota coast, devastating local wildlife. And without their pipeline, Exxon had to shutter 3 of its oil platforms off this precious coastline. And since then, the community has fought successfully to prevent ExxonMobil, one of the most powerful companies, oil companies on the planet, from reopening those platforms. 8 years later, they remain offline. Go Santa Barbara! Good for you. And that's not the only victory y'all have had against big oil. Several years ago, 3 oil companies proposed to drill over 750 new oil wells in Cat Canyon near Santa Maria. But an alliance of grassroots advocates, students, and community members beat back the projects one by one. Yeah. I mean, you all have proved over and over and over again that people power can win. And we're going to bring it back again and again in the coming years. And in 2020, the last of the companies announced it, I love this, it gave up and went away, tail between its legs, because they said the unfriendly political climate that activists had created. I don't know, you all look pretty friendly to me. It's really inspiring. It's an inspiring example of people power. I'm so proud of all of you. Santa Barbara is just one of many California communities fighting to get off fossil fuels, to get fossil fuels out of our backyards. Do you know that across the state, Californians are organizing a resistance to break free from big oil's stranglehold? And it's gonna be a hell of a battle. We have every reason to think they're prepared to spend $100 million between now and November of 24, next year, in order to defeat the setback bill that has been passed. $100 million. People power can defeat that, though. I mean, it's just, I feel like I should become inured to this, but I just cannot get over the gall, I don't know what the words are, that these oil companies, in order to defeat the setback bill, they have been telling people to sign, they get paid $90 a signature. They've been telling people that if this setback bill passes, that people are going to start being poisoned in their community. And the price of gas is going to, it's just lies, and they do it so incredibly well. I don't know if you've seen the ads on television. The ads saying, California needs more oil, we're going to be dependent on, have you seen these ads? They're so well done, but you could get a scientist there to refute every single point that's made. It's all lies, and we're going to have to put our own ads up there, telling Americans here in California, telling us what the truth is. We're going to have to do that in the next year and a half, and we will. Enough is enough, right? It's time to take back control of our air and our water. It's why I'm so happy to see every one of you here. I'm just so happy that there's such a good turnout. And this is why I'm so honored to announce the recipients of the 2023 Community Environmental Council Environmental Hero Awards. These awards honor leaders, individuals, and organizations who've made a significant contribution to the environmental movement. And in the case of our two recipients today, that's an understatement. I've had the pleasure of getting to know these two amazing activists through Fire Drill Fridays, which is my collaboration with Greenpeace USA, it invites both lifelong activists, these two people, lifelong activists, lifelong environmentalists, and new climate advocates to engage with the climate justice movement and take action for a cleaner, greener, healthier world. I've learned about their tireless dedication to their communities in combating the devastating effects of the fossil fuel industry in California. Their work has had a pivotal impact on California's progress to protect communities living near harmful oil drilling and commit to a future beyond fossil fuels. They're an inspiration to me and to all of the people who know them, and I'm proud to call them fellow firefighters in the fight for a livable planet. First, I want to recognize and present the 2023 Santa Barbara Earth Day Environmental Hero Award to Cesar Aguirre. I told, before he came up here, I said to Cesar, I wish that Cesar Chavez, he was named after. Cesar Chavez was alive. Cesar would have loved this guy. Oh my God. Wow. Let me just tell you a little bit about him. Don't be oh, look, you've got the award already. As a child in a family of migrant farm workers turned community organizers, Cesar was introduced to community organizing and advocacy at an early age. In 2017, Cesar joined Central California Environmental Justice Network, where he works to help fence-line communities in Kern County protect themselves from oil and gas pollution and advocate for systemic change. Cesar is a tireless advocate for his community's health. Through Arvin Air Quality and Improve, that's an organization, Improve, he has trained residents on how fracking and fossil fuels are negatively impacting their neighborhoods. Last summer, yeah, boo, right, boo-hoo. Last summer, when dozens of wells were discovered to be leaking, they were leaking explosive levels of methane in Bakersfield. He organized quickly to alert residents, train community members on the collection of data using PM monitors and bucket samples, and urged the state to intervene. Cesar, yeah. He's not even 30 and he's done all this. Cesar is an instrumental voice in the fight to end neighborhood drilling and has personally played a role in influencing the governor to sign into law a 2,200-foot health and safety zone, buffer zone between communities and oil drilling. Frontline communities have been fighting for this for decades. And it finally happened, and this is what the oil companies are trying to undo, right? Cesar is a co-founder of California Youth versus Big Oil. I love that. With Nayeli, and with Nayeli is a co-host of the Big Oil Resistance Tour that you're welcoming here today, which is a roadshow across California to grow the grassroots movement for a future beyond fossil fuels. Please welcome Cesar.
Thank you, everyone.